Hey guys, so I hope you really enjoyed that video. That was Crispus Attucks. Now, what he was a hero of history, somebody who had great character, and history remembers him for doing something special. That's what you are going to do. You are going to do something, and you are going to create and introduce yourself as a hero of history. That is a living statue. Pretend that you are actually that person. That's what we're going to do. There are different heroes of history. So, for instance, if you're going to do this, let me show you how to do it. Number one, you're going to use one purple Google slide for your information. On that slide, there's words and sentences, photos and quotes, videos and websites. You're also going to use costumes and props and your imagination to come up with really cool idea on how you can create a living statue and introduce yourself as a hero of history. Now, be prepared to share what you think is most important that others should know about you, the hero from history, pretending you're that person. Then you're going to be prepared to answer important questions from your life or about your life. Remember the hero from history? For instance, important people, important places, and important events. You can go back and watch my video on Crispus Attucks if you want to see what that looks like one more time. Okay, so let me take you through this process. If we're going to use one purple Google slide, what we'll do is you're going to get access to this Heroes of History. Now, here we have all these different options that you can choose. And as you can see, the one that I did was on Crispus Attucks. Let me move my video over here. So all I did is I read through this, and then I watched this video. It was a really cool video. Once I watched this video and then remembered this quote, and I watched this informational video, I learned a lot of things. So that's what you're going to do first, is go through one of your slides. We have a lot of different ones. You can see all of them right here, including the one on Martin Luther King Jr., which is one of our favorites. But I want to challenge you to go through and visit some of these other people so that you can see which one of them you might be interested in learning more about and becoming as a hero of history. Okay, guys, I just watched videos on Crispus Attucks. I went right through all that stuff. And so I'm going to get some ideas for what I want to do. So, for instance, one thing that popped up in my mind right away was snowballs, because I remember that they had thrown those snowballs. And so I thought about that. What could I use around my house? Well, I actually had some cotton balls, real big ones, that I used, which you guys saw in the video. I also thought about he was shot. And so I thought, how could I create that look? And so I got this shirt with paint. And then the other idea I thought was just having a hat, because he had a hat as well. And so I went around and I wrote down these ideas just like this so that I could use that for dressing up like a living statue. So that's what this green slide is right here. You can see up front using costumes, props, and your imagination. And then I go to the slide, prop ideas, costume ideas, and other imagination ideas that I had. Okay, so now what I needed to do was think, what was the most important thing that Crispus Attucks did? If I was going to become that person, I want to be able to share, why is it super important? Well, this slide right here can give me some ideas. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write in the ideas of what was most important as to why Crispus Attucks was remembered. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, guys, so with this part here, I wrote that he was the first American killed in the fight for freedom at the Boston Massacre. That is why Crispus Attucks is remembered in history. And because he's known as the first person shot in the American Revolution, which began with the Boston Massacre, Crispus Attucks is remembered for history. And this last one's kind of an optional one, but I put in there, his dad is black and his mom was Indian, which is why Crispus Attucks is also remembered in history. And now finally, I may have people ask me questions, because obviously if I'm Crispus Attucks, people would want to know about me. So I've got to be prepared to answer some questions. Some of those questions might be these: who were important people in your life and why? Where were some important places in your life and why were they important? And who were some important what were some important events in your life? So I wrote down here some of those important people and why they were important, such as my mom and dad and other patriots, and some other places and events in my life. So, all of these things are going to get you ready to become a living statue, a hero from history.